Hello crafters, in tonight's video we're going to be making a gorgeous baby card using the Cradle and Love Photopolymer Stamp Set that I picked up in the Sale-A-Bration brochure. You can pick that up for free with a $50 purchase. And then we're going to use the Brights Designer Series paper for the background paper. Hi, I'm Joan and I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and I created this video for Joan Simple Papercrafts found right here on YouTube. If you're new here, I want to thank you for stopping by, and if you're a returning guest, welcome back. Be sure to subscribe by clicking the subscribe button below. That way you won't miss when I post a video, which is typically once a week. Now give me a few seconds to turn the camera down and we'll get started. Here's the card we're going to work on tonight. This one was done using the AZURE Afternoon Cardstock, and then we use the same color markers. And then I believe this is Balmy Blue. We're going to do tonight's card using MELON Mambo. So let's go ahead and get started. Here's the stamp set we'll be using. We used this stamp set here. That's the bassinet. And I stamped it with Memento ink. And then I didn't color this bassinet at all because I wanted it to look like it was white. And then this is the arc for the mobile here. And then we used the bundle of joy on the front of the card. But on the inside of the card, we used Welcome Little One, and then we had the elephant, and that's this here and here. And then I want to point out these here, those are from the Glossy Dots assortments, but they didn't have the AZURE for the color. This is Balmy Blue, and what I did is I used the dark marker, this right here, and I just colored the dots right here, and they came out darker. So that worked really well. And we're going to use these for today's card, and that happens to be Melon Mambo. Then for the scalloped, I used the Scallop Contours dies. This one right here, it's the second largest. So we're going to go ahead and get started. I brought in this little pad here. That'll hold my stamp pad when we were using it so it doesn't slide around on me. That's part of this glass mat kit. You get this holder here where you can put your stamp pads here. Then you've got your wells for ink wells. You can use your ink blocks in here as well. And then you also get this wipe, and that'll wipe your glass down, wipes the stamps off as well. It's just really great wipe. Join Stampin' Up! And you can get this Stampin' Glass Mat Studio for free, or you can select $30 in free product to add to your starter kit. Just check out the comments section below for more information. What we need first is a piece of Melon Mambo cardstock cut at 5.5 by 8.5. Usually when I cut a card base, I start by scoring it first. Let me get my trimmer first. I'm going to take this out of here so I can trim without bumping into that. Usually I use my trimmer and I use the scoring blade first and score it at 4 1/4. But I'm going to want to use the other half for something other than a card base, because that would give me 2 card bases there once I cut it in half. So I am not going to score it first. I'm going to trim the one piece at 5.5 inches. So that's going to be 14 centimeters. I'm just moving my scoring blade out of the way. And here's our trimming blade. They're right in this little track here. And so I can move them out of the way and still in the track. And when you need to, you can pull them out and replace them easily. And this happens to open up, and it goes out as far as 17 1/4 inches, or that's going to be almost 44 centimeters, not quite. Then I want to score this piece here at 4 1/4 inches, or that's going to be 10.8 centimeters. So there's my 10.8, okay, and we're just going to score that. And before I get rid of the trimmer, I'm going to take this other piece here, and I'm going to cut off a piece that is 3.5 inches, because that's what I'm going to need for the next piece here. And that's going to be a rough cut there. Okay. So let me fold this at that score line, which is 4 1/4 inches. Trying to get it to match up here. There we go. This glass is slippery. That's what I was trying to get it to match up, because I often when I fold it in half like that, it doesn't quite match at the bottom, and I just have to adjust it. And I have to grab it differently when I'm doing it on the glass mat versus my stamp pad. So that's ready. And then what we need to do next is we need to die cut this with this scalloped piece here. And I'm just going to get my cut and emboss machine out. We're going to use the number 1 plate. And then it says we need the number 2 plate and then 2 3s. This one has all the etching on it, which is the bottom piece, so that's okay. The top one has a little bit of etchings on there. If I was doing something like foil, I wouldn't use this. I would use a clear one that didn't have any etching on it because I wouldn't want that to transfer to the card base. Then we just need to roll this out, and I've got this going backwards, so I'm not sure if I can do that. I'm going to keep hitting my things here. Notice I got rid of the cut and emboss machine because I went ahead and I cut the next 2 out because they were just using the same die, and I didn't want to take up your time trying to get that taken care of. So we've got all these taken care of, and then we need our designer series paper, and the designer series paper is cut at 4 inches by 5 1/4 or 10.2 centimeters by 13.3 centimeters. So for all 3 of these, I used the piece starting at 3 1/2 inches by 4 3/4 inches or 8.9 centimeters by 12.1 centimeters. So we're going to just put this piece on our base here. I'm going to bring in my glue gun. I'm using this now. It's not a Stampin' Up! Product, but I do load it with our multi-purpose glue. And the glue holds just as well as it did before. And let me get my silicone mat in here too. So this is the back side of that designer series paper. This is from the Brights designer series paper. I got this gun because my hand doesn't grip very well. I have arthritis and it hurts a lot when I try to squeeze and nothing comes out. This works a lot better for me. And then when you have to do something that's really fine, you can get it to do just little fine dots. Okay, so the inside piece here, we want to trim this off. So I'm going to bring my trimmer back out and cut this edge off along these dotted lines. So I want to be able to see that in the track there. And that looks good. Well, that's all set up. So I'm going to do this next. I'm going to use Melon Mambo for the sentiment. This is on the inside of the card. So I'm going to use this for the inside sentiment. And that way I have this one right here. And let me get my Stampin' mat. This is a photopolymer, and it works better if you've got a little cushion underneath it because it doesn't have the cushion you get when you have the red stamp. And just want to make sure I've got it somewhat centered on there. And I'm going to put it right about here. Give you a little room to write something underneath it. And then I'm going to take the little elephant, put him right down here. Then I have my Stampin' Scrub off to the side here. And I'm going to just use some of my Stampin' Mist. And I'm just stamping off first. And then I'm just going to use the scrubber. We've got a Stampin' Scrub over here. Why I stamp off first is to get the ink out of the stamp before I put it on the scrubber. And that allows me to let me use my scrubber longer before I have to clean it off. Now I'm going to put this on the inside of the card. And like I said before, you can do little dots with it. I'm barely squeezing it. See the dots I created? And I'm going to put this in here. And I'm leaving about 1/2 inch for a border on all 4 sides. and a half an inch comes out to be about 1.3 centimeters for a border. Okay, and this one I left 1/8 of an inch for a border on all 4 sides. Then next we want to stamp this up, and I think we're done with this. So I'm going to close this up. And we're going to use our bubble bath first on here. I didn't do that on the other card. The reason, because I tried a different blue. Let me show you. I used the different blue here. That was AZURE, and I tried to make it really light, and I thought that came out too dark. So then I just redid it in basic white. But let's see, I thought I tried this earlier, and I have a piece of paper here that I'm just going to rub off on a little bit first before I go back onto the card. So I don't want a lot of color here. I just want it to be fading and pink. I don't know if you can even see it. I can see it. It's like a shadow of pink. I do want it a little bit darker though. So I want it to have the feel of having painted pink. The walls in the bedroom painted pink. I think that's good. I'll run water through this when we're done stamping. And I'm going to close this up too. So next we're going to use is our Memento ink. And let me just get my stamp pad out. It helps a lot to keep them in place. We're going to use this first. And I'll just bring it up here and get it inked up. And I'm going to stamp off again. Then we'll use this that does the mobile. Excuse my head, I just want to make sure I got it lined up. And we'll do the mobile next. Excuse my head again, I want to make sure it matches. And we have our sentiment, bundle of joy. I tried doing that with the Melon Mambo and I didn't think it looked right. It wasn't quite bold enough, so I wanted to have it bold on the front. We are done with this now and get that covered up. And I'm going to take this out of here as well. So we need our markers next. I'm going to use the light bubble bath. And that's going to be for the blanket. And then the light Melon Mambo. And that's also going to be for the blanket. And I'm going to just get that done right here. There's a little stripe on the blanket. And that's what I'm doing with the dark color of Melon Mambo. And right down here as well. And then I like to do this. So it's like the rim of the basket's been painted. I didn't do any shading on here. I just have it all one color, and I'm okay with that. I did notice that I'm going to have to use my color lifter because it comes out some places there, out of the edge. And I think this edge is dried up, but I'm going to try it and see if it won't lift it a little bit. Ah, it is liquid again. So I was using it yesterday and I dried it up. Having it sitting down here, it's liquid again. So the color lifter, it basically pushes the color. So if I'm going this way, it's going to push it back into the color. If I go back down, it's going to push it downward. So trying to push it back into the color. A little bit there. One right here. Then we're going to use the light bubble bath. And I'm just going to get the painter and use the painting brush rather than the nub. I see some more in here, some more of the blanket. But I also envision that they have a mattress pad in here, and it's going to be done in the light pink. So that's going to be this bubble bath. I just need to see where to pick it up. Right here. And it's going to be down here too, so I've just got to try and pick up the right stripes here. Right here. And I have a couple places where I'm going to want to do the color lifter. I still see some of it coming out here. Then for the mobile, I'm going to take the dark bubble bath and I'm going to do the moon. I'll do that in a pink. And then I'm going to do the circle on the mobile right here in the light Melon Mambo. I shouldn't be using markers at all tonight because I'm going all over the place. There. Then we'll do the Daffodil Delight in the dark Daffodil Delight for the star. And then for the whale, I'm going to use a light balmy blue, and I'm just going to do the whole whale, and I'll come back with light azure for the bottom part of the whale. That's our coloring for that. And let me just get these markers out of the way. Then we're going to glue it onto here. Don't need this mat anymore. I'm just going to line it up with those dotted lines there. That's the most easiest card I've done. And then we'll use some dimensionals on the back of this. Oh, hold on a second. I'm going to pull this off because I wanted to put some ribbon on there. And the glue didn't set up yet, so I'm just pulling it off really quick. So I wanted to put a ribbon on there, and I'll show you what I did with the other one. I had used this ribbon for the other one, and I just took my light Azure Afternoon, and I colored it and made it darker because this is balmy blue, and I used the light azure to get this color. And then I tried to do the same thing for the Melon Mambo, and I could not get it. It was darker, and then when I tried to lighten it, it just spread all over the place. So that was not what was going to work. So I went back into my stash. So this is a piece of retired ribbon, and I just colored it with the light Melon Mambo. And that seems to be the right color. So I'm going to do some more, and it seems to dry pretty quick, so this shouldn't take very long. I'm going to use the edge of the brush so that I'm not using the tip. There is some ribbon in the catalog that'll work for this. It is called the 3/8 inch sheer ribbon combo pack. And I believe it comes in Azure Afternoon, Bubble Bath, and Lemon Lolly. And if Bubble Bath is too light, you could always color over the top of it with light Melon Mambo. So this is definitely longer than what I had. Let's trim it off right about here. I'm going to use my tear and tape for that. Just on the edge because it's going to go over. You know what I'm going to do, because this ribbon is so light, it's giving me trouble. I'm going to put the next one right on the card base. So I'm going to just put it right here. Back one we'll put right back here. It's on the fourth arc there, right there. Okay, now we're going to put glue on here. And where is it? I'm going to take this out of here because I don't want it to get on my card. And then we're just going to line it up on those dots there again. Okay, now we can put the dimensionals on the back. And I like to put a lot of dimensionals on since they usually go through the mail. If you know you're going to hand deliver it, I would just put on 4 in the 4 corners here. But since this might go through the mail, I would put on quite a few. Don't want it to turn all wonky by being destroyed by the rollers, do you? There. We'll just pull these off. Want to get those before they stick on the back of those papers. If they flip over and they on the other side, it will stick. All right, so then we're just going to put it on here, and I'm leaving about 1/2 inch for a border, and that is going to be 1.3 centimeters. Let me see, I think I got it off crooked here. Gotta get it before it sticks. Yeah, that looks better. Then we're going to do the ribbon here, and I'm just going to make a knot. And let me get my paper down here again and finish cleaning this up here. And I am just going to trim it here, and we'll probably have to trim it again. A little dull, so I'm going to, basically I just want to trim it and tie a knot. And then we'll just stick it down with a glue dot right about here. There. And I'm just going to trim this one a little bit more. Okay, all we have left to do is put our gems on. So let's put on these smaller ones here. And we'll get one more. These are the Glossy Dots assortment. They come in the annual catalog. There, I think we are done with our card. And I am just going to clean my mat off because I got some ink on there from when I did the ribbon. This is just damp, so I felt comfortable putting the card back on here. Now, aren't these just the cutest cards ever? Why don't you give it a try? If you enjoyed today's video, would you do me 2 favors? Click the thumbs up emoji, which means you like it. And would you share it on social media with your crafting friends and pin it to Pinterest? These actions will help me to keep sharing my ideas with other crafters for free, and I'd really appreciate that. Be sure to hit the subscribe button below so you won't miss any future videos. If you don't have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, I'd love to be your demonstrator. Just reach out to me. If you'd like to place a Stampin' Up! Order or would like a catalog, hop over to our website where you'll find the Shop Now button. To shop with me, you'll need to go to joanheberlein.stampinup.net. And don't forget to check out Sale-A-Bration in the comments section below. Mark your calendars. I'll be back next Sunday, February 11th at 7 p.m. Central Time. We'll be doing something from the new mini catalog. I hope you'll be here to join me. Thanks so much for being here with me tonight. I look forward to next time. Bye for now, and don't forget to subscribe.